Hello everyone, my name is Ridley, and today I'd like to begin this TED Talk by asking everyone a question. Who were your heroes growing up? Were they the best at a sport, like LeBron James? Or maybe they stood for something you believe in, like Naomi Wolf? Now looking back, how have they changed you? My guess is they motivated you to strive harder and create a mindset that made you become more like them. For example, for me, it was my grandpa. He risked everything and worked tirelessly for his family, and his journey and dedication has inspired me in so many different ways, and I can honestly say I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for him. But today I'm not here to talk about my grandpa. I'm here to talk about a hero that has recently seen a new light. Social media influencers. Back in 2004, with the invention of the groundbreaking Facebook, the world was introduced to the first social networking platform. Facebook was a huge virtual environment where people could share to their friends what they've been up to and the highlights of their life. And now let's fast forward 17 years. Social media has increased tremendously, with over 32.2 million Canadians now having at least one form of social media. And it is integrated in our lives more than we think about it. We use it as an alarm clock when we wake up in the morning. We use it as our main way of communicating plans. We use it as a way to gather research, and most notably, a tool for procrastination. And even when we're making real-life connections, such as making new friends or finding new love interests, they ask for a social media account. And the world is structured in a way where our social media lives are a reflection of our real-world social lives. And from my knowledge, if you struggle with social media popularity, you struggle to make real-life connections. With more than half the world now being on social media, emerged a new type of hero: social media influencers. But first, what is a social media influencer? It is a career in which people create a content on various topics, such as a podcast about societal issues, a blog about a vacation to Jamaica, playing the new video game, or a dog teaching you how to cook. There's practically everything. And then they post them on the several social media platforms and get compensated based on how popular it is. And making millions of dollars is actually not uncommon in this field. Now, a lot of you guys are probably wondering this. Ridley, I follow a couple of influencers and I found they've greatly helped me. So, what is the problem? The problem is that influencers are extremely popular among minors. And they seem to play a very important role in a minor's life. First, because they spend a large part of their time liking, viewing, commenting influencers' photos and videos and content. The average adolescent actually spends 5 to 7.5 hours on social media or video games a day. And secondly, minors turn to influencers not just for entertainment, but for advice, information, company, and comfort. Now, the average age for kids to start developing their identity is between the age of 12 to 18. Yet they're introduced to the world of social media, where they are constantly being reminded that their friends are more popular and like them, that they're not as good at their skills as other people, and that their lives are not as great as other people's. Now, let me reiterate. The average age for kids to start developing their identity is between the ages of 12 to 18, yet the average age for kids to get into social media is 11.4 years old. And there are hundreds and thousands of studies linking social media to mental illness, cyberbullying, physical problems, psychological problems, developmental problems, anxiety, depression, identity issues, self-harm, and even suicide. Yet the average age for kids to get into social media is 11.4 years old. Sean Parker, an ex-Facebook creator, said that Facebook, or social media, is designed in a way to exploit the vulnerabilities in human psychology, leaving the user a desire to become popular. He refers to social media as a social validation, feedback loop. Charmoth, the CEO of Social Capital, said that we curate our lives around this perceived sense of perfection, and we get rewarded in these short-term signals like hearts, likes, thumbs up, and we conflate that with value. And we conflate it with the truth, but what it is fake, brittle popularity that leaves the user, and admits it, more vague and empty before they even did it. Because that forces you into a vicious cycle where you're like, what's the next big thing I'm gonna do now? Because I need it back. Now think about that compounded by 2 billion people, and think about how people see them perceived by others. Social media structure causes this perpetual loneliness in children who constantly yearn for these likes, hearts, attention, and these short bursts of dopamine that these things provide. And as a result, social media influencers has seen a lot of popular as a new type of hero. Because they live an ideal luxury life with lots of followers, lots of friends, and a lot of money. Now, the problem is that a lot of these influencers who are extremely popular are acting in harmful ways and don't act respectful in a civil society. For example, there's this famous influencer with 50 million followers across all platforms. Let's call him Lenny. Lenny reads an obscure article about a virus being fake and posts online. Yet an expert within a field will read several articles and books about a topic to construct a claim and then post it. Yet, because Lenny is 1,000 times more popular, minors will actually agree with Lenny over the expert. And Lenny is also the type of influencer who harms people on the street and promotes racist contents and acts in cruel ways in public. And Lenny is not a one of a kind. He is just one example out of 10,000 influencers similar to him. He has influenced a whole generation to be similar to him. Even influencers who post PG contents are still cause problems in children. In Canada, there are many children who are now suffering from social media-linked mental illness and identity issues. The average person who spends the most time on social media has a 66% higher chance in depression. And there are a lot of cases as well with social media-linked suicides. And sadly, they are often as young as 12 years old. But I do have some solutions that have really helped me. Because as a parent, you probably struggled taking away your kid's cell phone away. Or even as yourself had probably struggled resisting picking your phone after when you're a day. Social media is designed to be addicting, and it's a very hard addiction to break. So here's some tips that have really helped me. Whenever I'm doing work or trying to go to sleep, I will turn off my cell phone and leave it in another room. Whenever I'm on social media, I try to limit to an hour. I actually download this app that will prevent me from going on Instagram or Snapchat for more than an hour a day. And finally, I highly recommend a social media detox. This is where you just turn off all your screens just for one day. And with all this new spare time, try to find a hobby that you're actually interested in, like an art or a sport. And my final remark for everyone is that teach your children to be happy with the amount of followers and likes they have, because no matter how many they get, it never feels like enough. Thank you for your time.